Welcome back, guys, to another video. Um, Hi Thumos, whatever, another self-improvement talk, whatever you want to call it. And before y'all say anything, no, I did not get a haircut. As you can see, it's in a man bun. And I know I need to get a haircut because my thing is looking busted. But that's besides the point. So about a month ago, I released a video talking about progress and how do you measure progress when you're on this self-improvement journey. And I had originally said that, sometimes progress is about letting go and trying new things and just living life. And I got that from Elisha Long because I think that he is right in that circumstance, or at least in that case, that sometimes you just need to live life in order to make progress and not actually worry about making progress, if that makes any sense. Because sometimes you're so worried about something or worried about doing something that you actually halter yourself from making said progress or from doing more than what you thought you were capable of. But I wrote, later that week, or maybe it was like a week after, I posted something on my Substack talking about another way of measuring progress, or another way to look at progress, which was contrasting or totally contrary to what I had said earlier in that video, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. I think that one way to look at progress is to measure what it is exactly that you're doing and be detailed in that measurement. So what I say by that is, if you have one experience and then you have one negative experience, and then you put yourself in a similar circumstance, right? And you experience something kind of similar and your reaction is different, you should write about it. You should measure that progress. Look back and reflect about how you handled the situation differently this time. Or if you see a situation, or if you were in a negative situation and you see another similar situation approaching, what are steps that you can do to change that? And reflect on that and learn how to avoid or mitigate those negative circumstances. That's a form of progress. And I'm not saying that to say that like you'll never have negative experiences if you do this, you'll never see yourself in a bad situation. That's not what I'm saying. But there's progress in learning how to navigate those circumstances and how to mitigate them from being a regular occurrence in your life. Another thing when I talk about it in measurement is the gym. I know like a lot of gym guys, they go to the gym, they don't really have a structured workout. They kind of have like some structure to their routine, Monday's chest, Tuesday's back, Wednesday's legs, Thursday's arms, rinse and repeat, throw in rest days here and there, but they're not really measuring what they're doing. They're not counting the sets. They're not counting the reps. They're not counting the volume. They're not even writing down necessarily what their goal is. And so they feel stagnant in the gym because every time they go in, yeah, they get a decent pump. Yeah, at least they're going to the gym. That's good on them. But they don't feel like they're actually doing anything. And that's because, one, you're not going to see progress right away. But two, you're not measuring it. If you've gone to the gym for more than 3 months, you should be writing down your sets, your reps, how intense was it, how much weight did you do, the frequency. You should be writing down a goal. If you want a 225 bench, okay, how many times a week are you benching? What's the intensity like? What's the rep scheme like? What's the weight that you're using? What kind of technique are you using? You should be writing all those things down. And that can not only be said for the gym, but it could be said for so many other things in your life. Keep a habit tracker. If you're trying to keep a streak or you're just trying to do something, count how many days you've been working on it, okay? And then count the progress that you've made on those projects or that streak that you're trying to keep. So this one's another fitness related one. It would be like 75 hard. You have to count those days in 75 hard. You have to count what you're doing, and you're held accountable by having to take a picture every single time. It's kind of hard for me to give examples outside of the gym, just because that's kind of been my main focus since I was in like 16. Really, that's probably the biggest focus I've had in my life. Has always been, I got to get in the gym. I got to get in the gym. I got to work out. I got to hit this number. I got to hit this amount of weight. I need to eat this amount of calories in a day. And but that can also be applied to other things. If you have a project at school, count how many days you've been. You know the due date. You know the due date of the project. Count how many days you've been working on it, and then count the steps needed to reach certain milestones. So, okay, I need to have 5 papers done in 2 weeks. Okay, well, each day, are you writing a paragraph? Are you writing a few sentences? Are you editing? And eventually it'll add up. And by the time you've achieved said thing, you can look back and see at the progress that you've made. The point that I'm trying to get at here is that progress can be measured, but you have to measure it yourself. If you want to see how much progress you're making, take a look back and see the situations, see the projects, the habits, the streaks, whatever, and analyze them. See what you could have done better. See what you did good, what you did bad, what could be improved, what you don't need to keep, what you don't need to change. And from there, you've made progress. Simply doing that act is progress itself, and you might not even be aware of it. So, yeah, I think progress comes largely in just 2 forms, which is just living life and experience. And then progress also comes from a point of reflection and keeping track of what you're doing. And yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. And I'm just going to enjoy the rest of the sunset. I'm just watching it outside my window right now. It's beautiful. Look at God's creation. Anyways, you guys have a good night.